DJJAYERICA. Welcome to another episode of the DJJAYERICA podcast. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. If you guys haven't already, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. Hit the like button, notification bell if you are on YouTube. Make sure you guys comment below and share this video, y'all. Let's get this up, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get some subscribers up, you know what I'm saying? And anybody that's listening right now on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, or wherever you're listening to, turn up the volume wherever you are as we go on this long ride of this podcast discussing all your favorite celebrities, hot topics, news, and world news, of course. And of course, you know I like to do music reviews. I'm trying to figure out what music should I recommend today. We'll get there. Anyways, I hope you guys are feeling good. It's been about 2 weeks since the last time I was on here. And a lot of people wondering, where have I been? And honestly, you guys, I just been out living life, man. Taking in all of this news and all the gossip and everything else. And there's so much stuff happening. Sometimes when you're doing this work, you feel pressure that you got to immediately drop, you know, the content, boom, 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 for YouTube and stuff like that. But sometimes you just got to take things in, do some research, and discuss particular topics you want to get out to viewers. So that's what I'm going to do in the show. I hope if you're new that you guys do make sure you guys stay locked, subscribe on all platforms that you're on, and let's get into it, y'all. Let's get to talking, baby. So how are you guys doing? Have you guys actually got the chance to check out the Grammys last week? I think it was like last week Sunday. I seen the highlights on the web. I'll be honest with you guys, I don't watch much TV, you know, and I'm a person who use, you know, Roku and smart TV and stuff like that. So, unfortunately, I didn't have the actual channel where the Grammys was being broadcast, but I did get to see it on the web because, you know, anything that's on cable, you can basically watch it on the internet these days. So, I did watch some of the Grammys. I've seen a lot of the performances and things of that nature. And I really just want to highlight the winners and also just discuss the bias of the Grammys and how it has been, you know, basically has grown a negative reputation amongst artists of basically, you know, people wanting to boycott because of their decisions that they made in regards to artists they've decided to award. Also, you know, potential, you know, accusations of racism amongst the board voters or whoever's running the committee over at the Grammys. You got people like The Weeknd who decided to withdraw themselves from making submissions to the Grammys because he felt like he was getting snubbed because of his most recent project, you know, and, you know, it was a lot of chatter and drama going around because people were saying, oh, Beyonce decided not to perform. And they gave off this perception in the media that Beyonce was snubbing the Grammys and wasn't going to be there, but surprisingly, Beyonce showed up. And we're not sure if she showed up because she won a few Grammys herself. She won like 4 Grammys. If she showed up to support Megan Thee Stallion, who she did a collaboration with, but Beyonce did not want to perform. And because Beyonce decided not to perform, of course, the media took it. You know how we do. We take things and we run with it. So everybody was trying to make it seem like Beyonce wasn't going to be at the award show. But lo and behold, you know, the Carters, Jay-Z and Beyonce showed up to the Grammys fashionably late. And Beyonce was there with Megan Thee Stallion as they accepted their award for, I think it's Best Rap Song. They won Best Rap Song, Best Rap Performance. And then Megan Thee Stallion won Best New Artist. And then Beyonce also won an award for her song Brown Skin Girl with her daughter, Blue Ivy. And, you know, she went out and did the acceptance speech. So I think, you know, it was a lot of wins for the Carters. And also Beyonce ended up basically breaking a record for the most Grammy up singer to ever be received. And Beyonce basically broke a record for the most Grammys awarded to a singer. And she's up there on the ranks with Quincy Jones when it comes to Grammys at this point. Because, of course, Quincy Jones has 28 Grammys. And Beyonce just tied with Quincy Jones. And Beyonce is still relatively young. So there is, you know, a strong possibility that she will surpass the amount of Grammys Quincy Jones has won in his lifetime. And, you know, big up to that legend Quincy Jones, you know. But I'm just wondering, will Beyonce ever get that Album of the Year award that she's always denied? You know what I mean? And this is one of the reasons why a lot of people, like critics and spectators and artists alike, have decided to like boycott the Grammys because they feel like, you know, a lot of times, you know, it is like racially motivated and they don't give the awards to certain artists because of their ethnicity, or they try to separate performance based off of their race and ethnicity, and it's just a lot of accusations of discrimination and racism within the Grammy committee, and a lot of people basically are fed up. We've had that time, where there was a list of artists boycotting the Grammys. Of course, one of the biggest ones this year has been The Weeknd. He, like I said, The Weeknd, he decided not to attend the Grammys himself because he felt like the Grammys weren't, I guess, supporting him, promoting him, or awarding him like he's supposed to, or he felt he should have been awarded, so they pulled out, and it's just been this big old like racial uproar with the Grammys and how they've treated musicians and everything else. I don't know. I do feel like there is some bias in regards to the current Grammy committee over the past like 10-15 years in regards to how they awarded people. However, there is a history of the Grammys snubbing people who they feel, most of the people in the general public feel should not be snubbed when it comes to awards. So, I do wonder sometimes who is the person in charge of the Grammy committee. Is there like a serious board of people? Is there like 20 people voting and saying, okay, this person deserves this award, this person deserves that award? Or is there like 3 old people that's just sitting at a table, just, pulling shit out of a hat, and it's not based off of, I mean, even coming down to the nominations, I'm just like, some of the nominations, I'm like, how did they get nominated? And, it's just makes you think and wonder, like, what is the actual protocol when it comes to being a part of the Grammy committee, and how are they selecting people that they nominate, and how are they selecting the people that they win? A lot of people view it as a popularity contest, and, I think it would be less, drama and stuff like that if they actually let the people vote who deserve a Grammy. But since the Grammys is held at such a high stature, they're basically saying that it's people that's on the committee who's our peers of musicians, people who are actual musicians voting and saying, yes, this person deserves a Grammy. This person has, passed all of these different levels in their career in regards to their music, and compared to this other person's record, it makes them more worthy of award. But long story short, let's talk about the awards that was given out and who received them, okay? And I'm going to highlight basically the urban section and stuff like that, the main awards basically, because, there's like 30, I don't know how many awards, it's like 50 Grammys they give out, 100 Grammys, because there's so many different genres of music. But the winner of the main award, Billie Eilish, won Everything I Wanted for... But yeah, so let's just talk about the main awards or whatever. And Record of the Year went to Billie Eilish for Everything I Wanted. Album of the Year went to Taylor Swift for her album Folklore. The Song of the Year went to Her, which is an R&B singer. Big up to the R&B girls. I feel like the R&B girls doing it better than the R&B boys these days. But that's just me. I feel like the women are stepping out this year. I Can't Breathe, okay, that's the name of the song that she won for Song of the Year. Her, okay. And then we got Best New Artist Award went to Megan Thee Stallion, and she was in competition with the likes of Chica, Doja Cat, Katrina, and a few other people I really don't know. Pop Solo Performance went to Harry Styles. Watermelon Sugar, I really don't know who that is. I don't really follow him. Look, I don't know if I'm getting old or anything. Maybe I am aging out of the Grammys, because some of these people I have no clue who they are that's nominated. I'm just like, okay. Oh, Justin Bieber got a nomination for the song Yummy. Oh, that's Pop Solo Performance. He's one of the nominees, and he lost to him. Best Pop Duo Group Performance. The winners were Lady Gaga and Ariana Grande for Rain on Me. American Standard and James Tyler was Best Pop Vocal Album. Best Pop Vocal... Oh, that's Best Pop Vocal Traditional Album. Then Best Pop Vocal went to Dua Lipa. Future Nostalgia, okay. Best Dance Record went to Katrina for 10%, okay. And then Katrina won another award for Best Dance Electronic Album. And it goes on and on and on. Listen, it's so many awards that was given out, but really, the ones I care about was like Best R&B Performance, which actually went to Beyonce for Black Parade. Also, Best Traditional R&B Performance went to Let Us See Anything for You. And this was just long overdue. Like, Let Us See should have been won an award. I think she was nominated like 13 times before she finally won this award. And like, to me, I would get irritated because I feel like they would have Let Us See in there just as a filler, just to play with her emotions every freaking year. And this year she finally got the award that she deserved. And I'm not saying that she didn't deserve the other nominations, but it's like, why? I hate when the Grammys nominate somebody like 30 times, you know what I mean? Just to play with their feelings and shit, and then not give them an award. I'm like, come on, you know, like, why does this lady don't have like 7 awards or 5, 2, 3 by now? Literally, she was nominated about 14 times. She finally won. Okay, and then big up to her. She really deserved that award, though. Best R&B song went to Better Than I Imagine. That's the song. It was by Robert Glasper and her. Her then won another award. And Michelle Nogicelli. I don't know how to pronounce her name. Anyways, and then the nominees in that category was Beyonce for Black Parade, Tiana Major 9, and Earth Gang for Collide. And then Chloe and Halle was also nominated for the song Do It. And then we got Skip Marley and her Slow Down was also nominated. So her was nominated 2 times in one category. And then we have Best Progressive R&B Album that went to Thundercat. It Is What It Is. The nominees in that category was Janae Aiko. Janae Aiko. I hope I pronounced her name. Chloe and Halle for Ungodly Hour. That was a really, really good album. Free Nationals, the self-titled album, Free Nationals, and Robert Glasper, F Yo Feelings. So, you know, honestly, between me and you, I really don't listen to Thundercat. I don't know if his album was better than Chloe and Halle. But what I do know is I did download Chloe and Halle's album, and that joint was on point, okay? And I feel like they deserved that award, at least one of those 2, 3 nominations that they got. But unfortunately, they didn't win any of them, you know. And Chloe was a good sport, and Halle was a good sport on social media, basically showing off their red carpet attire, because I don't know if they actually went to the awards. I think they virtually attended or something like that. But unfortunately they lost, but they were still happy about being nominated. I'm glad for them, because I feel like if they keep on putting together the music that they've been putting together times 20, hopefully they will actually win a Grammy. But honestly, I don't feel like they should feel any type of way for not winning a Grammy, because the Grammys aren't everything. You know, it's you know, it's a great thing to win, but I mean, based on the history of the Grammys, if I was an artist, I wouldn't be offended if I didn't win. Like, it's just, we already know what the propaganda is surrounding that and the politics surrounding that. So yeah. And the next thing, John Legend won Best R&B Album, and he went up against Gregory Porter, Giveon, Ant Clemens, and Luke James. And I think they got it right with that. But dang, I just feel like the male R&B category just needs to get a little bit bigger and better. What happened to all the other R&B people from back in the day, the R&B singers, men singers? I don't know. Okay. There's a lot of people that I missed that's not in that category. And then Best Rap Performance went to, of course, that was one of Megan Thee Stallion's and Beyonce's Grammys. Savage won. Best Melodic Rap went to Anderson .Paak. Have you guys checked out Anderson .Paak and Bruno Mars' new group, Silk Sonic? That's them together. That's what they call that group, Silk Sonic. They got their new song. I think it's called Leave the Door Open. That's a really, really good song. And it's actually #2 on the Billboard charts right now. I'm looking forward to the album. Bruno Mars said that he has Bootsy Collins involved in helping to get the production done. And, you know, Bruno Mars is always under fire because everybody feel like he's like a culture vulture. You know, but he basically responded to the Breakfast Club and basically was trying to discuss being called a culture vulture, and him saying that he's not a culture vulture because he's actually embracing other black entertainers, and he acknowledged where he gets a lot of his, you know, I mean, a lot of his ideas from, and where he borrowed or samples some of his material from. He likes to fully acknowledge those people and give shout outs to the people who came before him. So he feel like that makes him not be a culture vulture because of that. Yeah, so y'all comment below on that. What do y'all think? Bruno Mars is a culture vulture, or do you guys just think he's just an honest performer? I mean, he's been performing and doing impersonations of performers since he was like a little kid. I think he was an Elvis impersonator when he used to live wherever he came from, whatever. So, I mean, he's known for that, and he just incorporated in his artistry. So, I don't know if I consider him a culture vulture. Y'all tell me. And then, did we say Megan Thee Stallion and Beyonce won another Grammy together? Best rap song. And this is interesting. What was the history since the last time a female won best rap song? Did Cardi win? No, I don't think Cardi won. Did Cardi win that? Because I know Cardi had won like 2 Grammys, right? How many Grammys did Cardi B win? But anyway, Megan had a good night. She won her Grammys. And then we got Nas finally winning his first Grammy. And this is the thing about the Grammys that pisses people off. Because it's like, we got Megan Thee Stallion coming out, jumping out the gate, and she get 3 Grammys. And meanwhile, Nas, a legend who's been out for almost 30 years, just got his first Grammy. Like, for best rap album. And it's been how many albums has he put out, man? Like, I mean, I think he done put out at least 10 albums right now, and he's just now getting his award. That's the stuff that Grammys be on. You know, it just like, it's like, okay, we're going to nominate you 25 times. The same way they did Let Us See. Okay, well, let's go ahead and just give it to him, you know. And honestly, I don't think Nas even really had no stiff competition, you know. I feel like he deserved it, you know what I mean? But the one thing I did notice, too, is that a lot of people didn't even know Nas had an album out. I've seen people saying, Nas dropped an album, this, and this. But it's like, just because you don't know about the album, it don't mean it can't be nominated. Like, all you got to do is come up with some music. I guess if you got like a record deal, whatever. And you submit it to the Grammys committee. And it don't have anything to do with the record sales. It comes down to the committee. And they decide, you know, okay, whether this is Grammy worthy or Grammy nomination worthy or not. You know what I'm saying? So, big up to Nas for winning that. And, overall, I mean, I've seen a couple of performances. I see a lot of people going after Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion for their performance. And Cardi B's been on social media basically coming back at people saying, you know, you're in control of what your children watch. If you guys have a problem with her performance and Megan Thee Stallion, you need to pay attention to your kids. And, you know, that is true and stuff like that. But I also feel like there is certain times and places, but you know, the Grammys didn't come on until mad late. So yeah, I thought maybe the parents should just watch what their kids are watching. But I mean, everything is on the web these days. So should a kid just not have a cell phone? Should a kid just not have a tablet because there are risque, you know, XXX performances going on in the Grammys? I don't know. Like, who's to blame if your child is watching Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion perform together on the Grammys in a manner that's viewed as inappropriate? Who's responsible for keeping a child away from seeing something like that? You know, is it really their fault, or is it like the parents' fault for not parenting? Like, you don't want to pay the cable bill last time I checked. You don't want your kids watching that. Well, maybe you should not let them have a TV in their room. Maybe it should be some monitoring on that. And maybe they shouldn't have a cell phone. If they do got a cell phone, maybe you should have parental control on it so they wouldn't be able to get into certain videos that's inappropriate and not for children. You know, so, I mean, Cardi do have a point. You know, Cardi does have a point with that. What other performances? Of course, Bruno Mars and Anderson .Paak, they did their little Silk Sonic thing. And it was dope, you know. Their voice is on point, for sure. You know what else has happened? And I don't know if you guys heard about this. And we're just going to talk about music real quick since we're on a Grammys. I want to talk about the subject of music. Miss Anita Baker has come out and basically said that no one should be purchasing her music because she's in a fight to get her masters right now. And I'm just like confused because I'm like, I thought she owned her masters. I can't believe that she doesn't own her masters. She's such a legend. And you know, it's like, why does she still have to fight for her master? She got to be, you know, she's older, you know what I mean? So it's just like, she has a 35 plus year career and it's now coming out that she doesn't own her masters. It's like, what? You know, and it's crazy because a lot of people that you think will own their music masters don't own it, you know what I mean? And, you know, people are speculating like, what You know, how did she lose her masters and this and this? But what we do know is she came out and she tweeted and she told everybody, do not buy her records or stream her records until she actually own her masters. And that's a lot of music. It's going to be hard for us, you know, old timers who enjoy the older music. And I'm saying old timers, not like physically, but mentally, you know, because, I mean, Anita Baker touched so many different age groups, you know, because, you know, you got the older people who actually was there when she came out who was younger and they became fans, and then they passed her music on to the next generation, her kids like myself. Like my mom used to play Anita Baker out all day long, who likes her music, and now we're like, oh, we can't play it. It's going to be hard for us to just not play Miss Anita Baker's music because we love it so much, man. But at the same time, we do want her to actually get what belongs to her, because there's so many black artists who's been gypped out of their music and their money in the music industry, especially when it comes to the masters. So hopefully she's able to get all the money that she deserves, and she's able to get her masters and everything else, so she can, you know, do as she pleases with her catalog. If she want to, you know, give it to her kids or whatever she want to do with her masters, she should have the right to do that and have control and be able to have her money. I wonder if they're going to make it so she has to re-record all of her songs. I mean, she got so many hits, you know, and a lot of times, like they did with Taylor Swift, you know, they require that you re-record the songs over again so you can remaster them. So it's just so interesting that that's going on with Miss Anita Baker, you know what I mean? Because Taylor Swift, she's re-recorded her music to save a large portion of her masters after she had got screwed over by her record label owners and stuff like that. So I wonder if they're going to require Anita Baker to like re-record all the songs that she already recorded in order for her to re-own the rights to her masters. It's unfortunate that it's taken as long for her to be able to strike out and say, yo, I'm going to get my money. You know what I mean? I'm just trying to figure out exactly what happened that made it so, or prevented her from being able to seek getting her masters. Like, I mean, she's been out in the music industry for like, what, 40 years now? And, you know, she's older now. And now she has to go through that. It's got to be pretty stressful, you know, to have to go through this with these people in the music industry. You know, who really wants to deal with all that, the lawyers and all the legal stuff that's involved. But hopefully everything works out for Miss Anita Baker and she does get her masters, because that's important. You know, I feel like all artists should, if you're singing a song and you wrote your songs, you should own your material, period. And there's so many artists out there has been robbed, and it's just not right. Man, spring is freaking here, y'all. I'm so happy about spring being here. It's so nice outside. I'm just like, as soon as I get off here, y'all, I am going outside, all right? Because this winter been long. Oh my God. This whole thing with the whole COVID stuff has been just exhausting for me. I'm over here stretching. It is what it is. Look, y'all, I'm ready to go outside, okay? I need to get some fresh air out here, man, for real. In other news, it looks as if Swiss Beats and Timbaland done sold out, y'all. They saying that Timbaland and Swiss Beats is some sellouts because they decided to sell the rights to their show Versus, okay? And they sold it to Triller, all right? Now, this comes from Pitchfork. It was announced, of course, through social media that they, along with several other people, will now own equity in Triller. And the list of artists who will own equity, which means they'll make money back from it, will be John Legend. All the people, basically everybody that was involved in the Versus prior to them selling it is going to get some type of money from this sale that they did to the Versus. Now, it's not even about the deal being done, because honestly, you know, whatever, get your money. But the thing is, the biggest question is, and DJ Academic said it, and it's like, do we view, and do you guys view Timbaland and Swiss Beats as sellouts for deciding to sell their music catalog? For deciding to sell their brand Versus over to Triller and basically transfer their wealth over to a much larger organization and no longer being black owned. Because a lot of times when we see a lot of these performers and things like that, these business people in the music industry, they always seem to want to brag about things being black owned, but then they sell it and it's no longer black owned. And I wonder, you know, it wasn't the best idea for them to do this, and what will be the ramifications of them deciding to sell this brand that was once black owned to another organization who is not or business that is not black owned. You know what I mean? And do you feel like it was a smart move? I mean, I'm not exactly sure of the numbers of how much they got paid for it. So maybe it is a smart move for them to be able to bring in income and secure a bag for their entire family. And maybe they wasn't making as much money with just being black owned. But it's just sad that a lot of times when we see well-known business owners and celebrities, stuff like that, that open black-owned businesses, they sell it, you know, and give it away to non-black owned companies and stuff like that, and just like relinquish their entire rights to it. And oftentimes when people sell a business because the business is failing and it's not bringing them, it's bringing them more debt than profit. And I mean, like, if that makes more sense for them to do that, then go ahead by all means. But I feel like Versus is still hot right now. And I feel like it's still making them money, so I don't know why they would sell it. But at the same time, we do live in an ADHD society where it's like, you know, something like a Versus would be hot for only until quarantine is like literally over. Like this whole COVID stuff is literally over. And then no one's going to be checking for it. And, you know, Swiss Beats and Timberland basically was like, yo, let's cash out while this stuff is still popular. You know, and me personally, I mean, if that's what you got to do to feed your family, then so be it. I know it's a lot of people that's hurt behind it and feel a certain kind of way because they don't feel like Swiss Beats and Timberland should have taken their black-owned business and transferred the wealth over to a non-black company who decided to buy them out. But sometimes business is business, and, you know, I feel like it's not just a black and white thing. I feel like, you know, people in general, business people in general, if you're taking black people out of it, this is what business people do. You know, sometimes they make big businesses and they're successful, then they merge, then they buy out other businesses, you know, whatever works best for them to be able to continue to be capitalists and grow and make money that's going to be able to pass down generational wealth to their family. That's what they do, be it black or white. You know what I'm saying? So y'all tell me what y'all think about that. And meanwhile, while we're on the subject of Versus, it's been unveiled that the Isley Brothers and Earth, Wind and Fire will be going head-to-head in Versus on April 4th. And I am looking forward to this. This is something, like, you know, very legendary. I'm looking forward to seeing these two legendary acts go head-to-head. You know, they are legendary in the black community, and they're legendary in the music community, the R&B community. And they are literally the, you know, the cornerstone for sampling music with hip-hop artists. And particularly the Isley Brothers is very well known for having their music sampled by people like the Notorious B.I.G. and so many other people throughout the decades with their music that they produce, including Aaliyah. Aaliyah did a cover of the Isley Brothers' At Your Best. So many different people in the black community, and especially the hip-hop sector, has benefited from the creations and the work of the Isley Brothers, and of course also Earth, Wind and Fire. So I'm looking forward to seeing it and seeing them go head to head, because Earth, Wind and Fire, comparing the sounds of these two amazing groups and talents, these legends, as you know, Earth, Wind and Fire is a group that I think of when, you know, I'm ready to just, you know, have an upbeat energy workout or just go outside and just enjoy the sunshine. And the Isley Brothers is that one of those, you know, the quiet storm slows down type of stuff. And, you know, it's there for you to be able to make babies. And not saying that Earth, Wind and Fire don't make, you know, don't have music that makes babies and stuff. Of course they both did, because they're basically from the same era. But I'm just saying, y'all, I'm just comparing the two in my mind of my favorite songs from them and what type of songs are my favorite. And, you know, I love September. Do you remember? September. Like, I love that. And Isley Brothers, Making Love Between the Sheets. Making love between the sheets. Ba-da-ba-ba. You know what I mean? So it's just like, you know, comparing the two, it's just like, who, you know, I don't think there's no winner in that. Honestly, it's just a celebration of black music, black arts, black culture, and I'm looking forward to hearing the beautiful music being, you know, just going through the catalog and reminiscing all of those songs and stuff like that. And granted, all of those songs were released. The majority of all the songs that they're going to play on Versus was created before I was born or even thought of. But I've been around for about 29 years now. So, you know, I grew up listening to that music, of course, because they continually still play it on the radio. Even though songs are 40, 50, 30 some odd years old, they're still playing those records. So I'm looking forward to it, and it's going to be a great celebration, man. Will you guys be watching Versus? For one, are you guys gonna be watching Versus? And also for two, do you guys feel like Timbaland and Swiss Beats are sellouts, like DJ Academic said? And I think he also said the same thing about Jay-Z, saying that he's a sellout as well for selling his two businesses. Yeah, y'all comment below and tell me what y'all doing. And then did you guys hear about some other stuff that happened on the Breakfast Club? And it's like buzzing through the entire hip hop community because Gully the King and Wallow, of course, I'm sure you guys know about their podcast, $1 Million Worth of Game podcast, came on the Breakfast Club, and Wallow basically, like, you know, forced Gully the King to come out and basically say that Jay-Z is responsible for blackballing his hip hop career, because everybody know that Gully the King was like, or Gully, before he was king, he was Gully the Kid. He was a hip hop artist, and he never actually, like, his career was like more street popular than mainstream popular. His career never really took off, you know what I'm saying? So even though he had a lot of different connections, one person he always talked about is Birdman and all the different business relations, but he was like one of those hip hop artists that has so many like big business meetings and stuff like that on the table with people that ran the, you know, hip hop culture, and unfortunately he never actually made his hip hop career happen the way that I guess it should have happened with all the business meetings that he had. And you know, long story short, they go on the Breakfast Club. They get to talking about Gully the King's career. He comes out and he talks about how he was supposed to be signing with Jay-Z in the early 2000s, and it was supposed to be him and a group of other people, but he decided to back out of the deal. And then Jay-Z allegedly said to him that this is what Jay-Z allegedly said, and Wallow forced Gully the King to come out and say it. And it's crazy because it's like Gully the King is the person who is so, he doesn't care. He's so outspoken. He says what he want to say, but like literally, this is the first time I see him look like shook, okay? Like he looks scared, you know? He looked like scared to say anything about Jay-Z, and it's like, yo, this is some weird Twilight Zone shit. Like, what is really going on behind the scenes, man? But anyway, after Wallow basically verbally beat it out of him, he comes out and he's like, what did Jay-Z say to you after that meeting? Because they're saying that State Property wasn't actually a real group of people that went over for a record deal. They allegedly said that Rockefeller put them together because they were trying to replace Gully the King's group or whatever. And Gully basically said that Jay-Z said to him, allegedly, that he was going to make it hard for him. And he said that's when he noticed his career took a flop. And then outside of that, there's been like a few other people. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if people are, you know, particularly just coming at Jay-Z, because we know, like, Choke No Joke, I don't know if you guys know who he is, but he's like a film director guy that used to work for Rockefeller and stuff like that. And he was always talking negative about Jay-Z and stuff like that, and he was waiting for other people to come out. And like the moment that Gully the King came out and said that, yo, this man was so happy about it. Like it's just crazy because he got like a weird obsession with Jay-Z. He like hates him. Like it's crazy. But anyway, also was it Quest also came out. Quest came out and basically saying that Black Thought was Questlove came out and basically said that Black Thought from the Roots, whatever, was blackballed also allegedly by Jay-Z too in another interview. Crazy. And then someone was saying somewhere around there was an interview of Cassidy basically saying that he believes that allegedly Jay-Z got him blackballed because of a fight that ensued between him and R. Kelly on the Best of Both Worlds tour, and Cassidy basically trying to help R. Kelly out when he had got allegedly attacked. I think he got pepper sprayed or something, and Cassidy was basically trying to help him clean it up and everything else. And he said that he knows ever since then that his career wasn't the same. So there's just a lot of people in the hip hop community these days coming after Jay-Z after he done did this big old business deal. And I don't know if it's because he did this big business deal and people are just hating and mad because he's still making money, and a lot of these hip hop artists, they're like barely able to feed their families, or is it just them saying like enough is enough and we need to like basically be on some Me Too movement against Jay-Z. I really don't know. Okay, but all I know is this is the stuff that's been going on, and it makes you sit and wonder, like, you know, what's the deal with that? And also, I also want to just talk further in regards to Gully the King, and just the fear of him when he was like, he didn't really want to say it. And now it's got me watching his podcast now, and I'm hoping that don't nothing crazy happen with his podcast or speaking out on Jay-Z, because it noticed that a lot of times, and this is just in general, when you speak about powerful people and stuff like that in the industry, you say the wrong thing, and next thing you know, your platform is knocked down. Now, I don't know if this is going to actually happen again. Is it possible to happen? Gully the King and Wallow is like signed to a major distributor and everything else. They're making a lot of money now. So maybe that's why Gully didn't want to say anything, because those billionaire hip hop artists and stuff like that, and business people in the industry have a lot of power, and it could really affect their career, affect how they're able to feed their family. You know what I'm saying? So it's just a lot of weird stuff that's been going on. And you guys tell me what y'all think about that. If you guys follow that part of the culture, y'all tell me what y'all think about it and comment below. One other thing I wanted to talk about too was Millie Mel came out and basically was saying, because everybody uses the word culture vulture, right? Especially like people like Dame Dash. If we're going to talk about just like culture in general, we have people like Dame Dash calling people who's like Caucasian or whatever, that does work in the hip hop community or try to work in the realm of hip hop, culture vultures and stuff like that, and particularly like DJ Vlad, or people call DJ Vlad a culture vulture and stuff like that. And DJ Vlad did an interview with the hip hop artist Melly Mel, and he basically talked about like how culture vulture isn't a real term, because hip hop is a group of culture vultures, and basically he was saying that most of the music that you hear in hip hop is sampled by R&B groups and rock groups and everything else. So how is it possible for you to say to the other non-black people that's a part of hip hop that they're culture vultures, when technically hip hop music is based off of one big culture vulture session with samples and stuff like that? And the interesting thing is, he's a legend, of course, and he was one of the first hip hoppers and rappers ever to come out, out of New York and everything else, and had their first hit records and stuff like that. So, man, a man like that knows what he's talking about. But it makes you wonder, like, is it possible for there to be culture vultures in the hip hop culture if hip hop is made from other people's culture, and they've sampled R&B music, they sample rock music and everything else just to make hip hop music? You know what I'm saying? Like, the DJ will mix these different sounds together and samples together, and then after that, as the DJ's playing, then you got the rapper rapping over the beat and stuff like that. But these aren't original beats per se. This is from back in the day where you basically took people's samples, and there wasn't even sample laws back then. So it's interesting that he would say that, and I want to know what you guys think about that in regards to that. Does the term culture vulture, does it need to be retired? Is it really real? Is it just something that people make up in the culture to make it sound like it's real, even though most of hip hop is a bunch of song samples of like R&B and rock artists? Interesting thing to think about. That's something interesting to think about, and I hope you guys take that in. Yeah, I just was just sitting there thinking about it, and that's just what it is. Next thing, I also wanted to talk about the fact that Kanye West is allegedly a multi-billionaire now, with an alleged network of $6.6 billion. $6.6 billion is what they've been reporting, okay, saying that he's worth that amount. And honestly, you guys, it's just like interesting that he has really made his dreams come true. You know what I mean? I think Kanye is still crazy, of course, but he's very smart. He might have mental issues, but he's very smart, because he's able to allegedly garnish a network of $6.6 million. $6 billion. $6.6 billion off of his own clothing line. Now, I don't know who's wearing his sneakers. I don't know who's wearing his clothes. But clearly there's people around the world who likes Kanye West clothing design, and they're buying all his stuff out like they did his music albums back in the day. And he's garnished a whopping network of $6.6 million on the heels of him getting a divorce with Kim Kardashian. Now, this is what was being reported from one publication. Then it came back to Forbes publication, and they combated that and said no, he's actually worth he's not worth $6.6 billion. He's actually worth $1.6 billion. All I know is Kanye West is allegedly a billionaire. Okay, and whether it's 1.6 billion, whether it's 6.6 billion, whether it's whether it's 60 million, 70, 80 million, he's still making more money than basically the entire world right now. People are trying to say that he was the richest black man, but you know, we won't know. We don't really know what's in these people's wallets just because you have a net worth. And I think that's the thing people don't understand. Net worth is not how much you actually have in your bank account. The net worth is based upon how much your brands are worth, or the things that you have around you are worth over the course of your lifetime that you created. So just because, you know, they're saying that he's a net worth of $6.6 billion does not mean that he has that amount in his account. He could be worth $6.6 billion and only have, I don't know, $900 million in his account. You know what I mean? And it's really, the word net worth in actual, you know, physical money compared to non-physical monies and you know, value and stuff like that. It takes different terms. It's different. It's not like he got. And I feel like that's why everybody just be ready to faint when they see stuff like that. They be like, "Oh my God, he's worth $6.6 billion. Oh my God!" And it's like that's not even what's really in his account probably, because net worth is based off of basically your estate, like how much things have you garnished over the course of your lifetime, and money that you earned and revenue that you earned based off the brands that you created, you know, and that is just a value, you know what I'm saying? That's an evaluation, and them basically estimating the value of each. And if you were to sell it, or you know what I mean, or as of right now, before selling it, how much it would be worth, and has the potential to bring in, or potential to have overall, you know what I mean? So it's just like, even though he is making history with these numbers, the hip hop artists and stuff like that, you know, I just feel like, okay, congratulations, do your thing. I'm not hating on him, but I just feel like it's just a bit overhyped with the whole Kanye being a billionaire type of situation, you know. And also I feel like we should also celebrate those that's out there in the black community that's not as wealthy or well known as Kanye West, who's making a lot of change within the community, because you know Kanye has been very vocal in his approach in regards to kind of degrading the black community, saying certain things like slavery was a choice, also being loud with his politics, being more of a conservative. And I mean, you have the right to choose whatever political lane that you want to, but I just can't believe that there's still a strong amount of black people still supporting Kanye, even though he said a lot of controversial things. I just know that my money wouldn't go to him because I don't believe in the things that he believes. But hey, I mean, it must be more people that believe in the things that Kanye believes than I do. And then I'm missing Kanye actually just met he got another Grammy for best, I think it was best gospel album for Jesus is King. He also won a Grammy, and he just tied Jay-Z with 22 Grammys, and he's the most awarded hip hop artist next to Jay-Z. Well, it's equal. Him and Jay-Z are neck and neck. So that means to me, I feel like Jay-Z might have to come out with some more stuff, because I don't think he want to be in the same realm as Kanye West when it comes to Grammys. I think he want to beat him. So next thing you know, I feel like Jay-Z might drop some more music out of nowhere, because he want to surpass Kanye, because Kanye is definitely catching up with Jay-Z. You like, Kanye's a billionaire, Jay-Z's a billionaire. Allegedly, their networks are worth over $1 billion. And now they're both equally the most awarded hip-hop male artists, and just hip-hop artists in general of all time, with 22 Grammys apiece as hip-hop artists. So I'm going to see how that goes out. And then we're going to talk also about Willow Smith. So did you guys hear about this news story that's been going out about Willow Smith having a stalker try to break into her home out in Los Angeles? Now, this leads to me to think of like, and this guy's a sex predator, mind you, a registered sex offender, tried to break into her home. He actually broke over the gates and was trying to find an entry and try to get into her actual house. And she had to contact the authorities, and her security had to call the police, and they arrested him. I'm going to read this entire story here, and then I'm going to talk about the situation, because it's just crazy. And honestly, there's times where I just feeling like, yo, Hollywood, you know, I feel like it's not a place for the stars anymore. I feel like a lot of them need to move out because there's been so many home invasions and stalkers being reported the past couple of years, especially with this whole COVID-19 stuff, where people have been trying to rob people and everything else because, you know, they got money. They know these people are worth billions and billions of dollars and they chilling. And then, you know, I done been to LA, you know what I'm saying? And it get real hood and then it's really rich. You know what I'm saying? We got the lowest of the totem pole, unfortunately. And you got people that's basically, you know, have nothing. They're living on the streets. And then you have around the corner, you drive 10, 15, 20 miles down the road and you're hanging out with somebody that's worth $1 billion. Like, you know what I mean? It's just like the highest range and the lowest tier, like all together. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like this would make it dangerous for a lot of these celebrities out here, especially in this pandemic, to be living. And I feel like a lot of these celebrities, y'all should, it's okay to move out. It's okay to not live in Los Angeles. I know some of them probably live there because that's their work and they have to work on set and stuff like that. But if y'all ever have the opportunity and you're that rich of a celebrity where you don't feel like you have to work anytime soon, I would recommend a lot of them have their own second house that's far away from the shit that goes on in California, Los Angeles, Hollywood area, because this is like, it's always some type of break-in, intruders, excuse me, you know, shootings, all types of stuff. Like, you know, that's what happened to Pop Smoke. Those guys was tracking him and then they ended up killing him, you know what I'm saying, in Los Angeles. It's just like a lot of that stuff has been going on. It's just becoming more common. But anyways, let me read about what happened with Willow Smith, okay? Willow Smith has gotten a restraining order against an alleged stalker and registered sex offender who broke into her property in California. Willow Smith has reportedly been granted a protection order against an alleged stalker. According to legal documentation obtained by TMZ, the 20-year-old entertainer requested the order against Walter James Wiley, a 30-year-old man who had trespassed onto her Los Angeles property around Christmas 2020. Smith says that the man had jumped a fence and began walking around her home as he appeared to look for ways to gain entrance. The request was accompanied by surveillance footage, still shots that showed an individual outside the residence. Smith pointed to the images as proof that Wiley would do whatever possible to make physical contact with me. Smith claims that her security had notified the police immediately after Wiley had trespassed. However, the man was not taken into custody at the time. She says the officer discovered a Greyhound ticket from on Wiley indicating that he had traveled all the way from Oklahoma the day prior. That's some sick shit. Okay, Smith also states that Wiley had been contacting her on social media before he was seen outside her house. He allegedly sent her messages professing his love and expressing his desire to start a family with her. This is sick. It keeps getting sicker. Though it's unclear why Wiley wasn't initially apprehended, the local authorities confirmed earlier this month that Wiley had been arrested. Okay, and then it's just this post right here. You guys see this? Man, I don't know how good you can see this. I don't know if the camera's going to adjust or whatever. But they arrested the dude, okay? Following the incident, Smith reportedly hired a private investigator to look into Wiley's background. They allegedly discovered that he was a convicted sex offender. Wiley has been ordered to cease all communication and attempts with Smith and remain at least 100 yards away from her at all times. Now, this is just freaking sick, you guys. Like, I'm just trying to understand how the hell do a sex offender be able to get a bus ticket on Greyhound to travel all the way from Oklahoma all the way to Los Angeles? Like, did he use like a fake name, a fake ID? I could have swore if you are like a sex offender, you can't leave a certain premises or state or location. I mean, did that sex offender registry say, oh, you can travel through all 50 states of the United States as long as it's not overseas or to a different country or continent? I don't understand any of this. This is just crazy to me. And, you know, luckily Willow has security and everything else following her, but that is just scary. It doesn't matter the status or whether you're a celebrity or anything like that. I mean, we've had things in history where you've had celebrities stalked down and shot by delusional fans, one being like John Lennon, what happened to him. And, you know, this is just all too common, more common than people know, with celebrities being stalked and stuff like that. So, you know, it's pretty creepy. You know, and a lot of these celebrities, they're stuck in their house around this time because of this whole quarantine and this whole COVID stuff going on. So it's just like, whoa, like, you know, if I was a celebrity, I would probably be looking for another place to stay until the whole thing is over. If I'm not really working because of the whole COVID thing, because people start getting ideas, they start following you, and then you get caught up. So if I was a celebrity out in Hollywood, I would just make sure that my security is beefed up, and there's no way for people to be able to gain entry into my home, man. I mean, there's always a way to gain entry to anybody's home. Clearly, this man was able to hop a fence and just do whatever he is. And when somebody crazy, their strength be incredible, okay? Like, I can do anything. I'm just crazy, okay? Just jump it over, just jump over the gate, jump over the flip, or whatever. Do what you got to do, you know what I'm saying? So, man, I'm just glad that nothing happened to Will Smith. And I wonder where Will Smith is, yo. I know he was pissed off when that happened. Like, it's crazy, yo. It's freaking crazy. But in the end of the day, this story just shows you that even though celebrities are rich and wealthy, that does not make it so they're immune to crazy people. Like, they can't get stalked and stuff like that by crazy people. And, I hope that Will Smith is good or whatever. And they said they arrested the dude, so I hope he stay locked up. And hopefully this time he goes to jail and they don't let him out. Like, I get it. Sometimes people feel that certain people should be able to come out of the street based off of the thing that they did, sex offender wise, whether they feel like they're low risk, high risk, whatever. But at the same time, the security around this man should have been beefed up. Like, there should have been no way that he should have been able to get a Greyhound ticket to travel. If he brought his real ID, how is it not possible for the people who gave him the damn ticket, or even the website that asked for the requested ID, was not able to scan and see that he was a sex offender and deny his request to purchase a Greyhound ticket? Is Greyhound that desperate to sell tickets to people? Because I could have swore, when you get registered as a sex offender, that's supposed to prevent you from being able to, like, travel certain places, or prevent, and it's supposed to be in, like, a database for, like, an airport and stuff like that, so they'll know that you're not supposed to be traveling, so they can apprehend and arrest you immediately. It's just a lot of things that make you go, like, what's up with that? Really, what's up with that? So hopefully with Will Smith's situation, the guy's convicted, he's locked up, and he's not able to get out anytime soon, because that's ridiculous. Also, in other news, let's just talk about it, okay? So, Saweetie and Quavo has broken up, y'all, okay? And this is such an interesting situation, because Quavo and Saweetie came off like that hip-hop couple that was going to last forever, that hood couple, and Quavo's relationship with Saweetie was, something that people always said was relationship goals. And me, personally, I don't do relationship goals. I don't try to compare my relationship with celebrities and stuff like that, because at the end of the day, we don't really know these people. We might enjoy the art and the work that they display, but we don't know them personally. We don't know what goes on in between their relationship. Shit, we don't even know what goes on with the people that we're friends with. Like, what really goes on behind closed doors, and nobody knows that. So when you don't know that, it's not best for you to scream, oh, these people are together, so they're going to be my relationship goals. Just because somebody can buy somebody a car, just because somebody can buy somebody a Birkin bag, just because somebody can buy love, does not mean that their situation is better than what your situation is. You have no idea. I mean, he could be buying, or she could be buying Birkin bags and cars for each other, and they could be abusing each other. They could be cheating on each other. They could be beating on each other. You know what I'm saying? And long story short, basically what happened with Quavo and his girlfriend Saweetie. Saweetie came out and basically put it out there that she was single, and this is following her going on a podcast with one of her who's her ex-boyfriend. They said, I think the ex-boyfriend is one of Puff Daddy's sons, whatever. And she was on there talking about like threesomes and all types of stuff, and everybody was sitting there looking like, wait a minute, why is she talking like this? But I don't know if her and Quavo broke up prior to this, and maybe that's why she just felt like it was fine for her to go on her ex's show and do that, or whatever the situation may be. But according to Saweetie and the tweets that she put up, she basically trying to say that Quavo was a cheater, and that she wasn't going to deal with the tweets and deal with the cheating. And she put up a couple of tweets, and I'm going to read them to you. Then we're going to talk about further exactly what the rumor mill is saying on why they actually broke up and who's really to blame. Now, the first thing I want to talk about is before I read these tweets is before she posted this tweet, she actually unfollowed Quavo on Instagram, and he in return unfollowed her on Instagram, and that's when like the alarm started going that they broke up. Now, a day or so after that, that's when Saweetie decided to go on Twitter, and she put, "I'm single. I've endured too much betrayal and hurt behind the scenes for a false narrative to be circulating that degrades my character. presence don't band-aid scars, and the love isn't real when the intimacy is given to another woman. Basically alluding to Offset cheating. I mean, oh, did I say Offset? Their behaviors is starting to marry each other. I mean, basically trying to say that Quavo was cheating on her. Okay, that literally was a mistake, y'all. No shade, for real. Anyway, she says, I mostly checked out a long time ago in a second tweet, and have walked away with a deep sense of peace and freedom. Excited for my new chapter of this new chapter of elevation. Then it took like, I don't know, maybe a few hours or a day, and then Quavo came out and said, I know you want to make this into a show, so I'll play my part just this one time. I don't normally put my business out there, especially my personal life. I feel the need to address this, so there are no false narratives. Then he went forward and said, I had love for you and disappointed you did all that. You are not the woman I thought you were. I wish you nothing but the best. And then she replied with just 2 words, take care. So, of course, this is going through social media. Everybody's trying to figure out, like, yo, what happened? Like, why did these two break up? Like, you know, what's the real tea? And people were saying, okay, so Quavo done messed up the thing. He done cheated on her or whatever. But then, all in the same breath, they trying to say Saweetie was out here being a thought and allegedly, and basically saying she was doing so because she went on her ex's podcast and was talking about threesomes and all types of different stuff. And it was just like some heavy flirting going on in that podcast or whatever. So a lot of people thought that was the main, sorry you guys, trying to fix something. That was the main reason why they broke up. But I had also got some research, and I be reading on other stuff, you know what I mean, other researchers and journalists and, you know, podcasters, bloggers and stuff. And it's going through the blog sphere that allegedly Bow Wow is to blame for their breakup because they basically allegedly hooked Quavo up with some chicks, like some escorts and stuff like that, and he like allegedly like hooked up with them, and that came from like Lovely T, and she was basically trying to say that had happened allegedly. That's what she said. And she was saying it was from some escorting service or whatever. Y'all go to Lovely T's podcast and she'll go into the details. Look, I ain't make up the story. I gotta make sure I notate when it get that sticky. But yeah, long story short, they're basically trying to say that Quavo is a cheater, and basically she broke up with. And my thing is, I hate when guys like cheat on girls and then they try to play a victim, like, or just cheaters in general. It's something about cheaters, and it could be women, could be cheaters too, where they try to like put the finger back at you like you did something wrong when they're out here sleeping with everybody and being a hoe. Then they want to say, oh yeah, actually you know, you're not the person I thought you was. Oh, you thought she wasn't the type of person to leave when she got cheated on? Did you want her to like stay in that relationship while you were out here just slinging it all over the place and possibly bringing her back diseases? Like, you know, these cheaters out here be having a whole lot of nerve, yo. And it's crazy how people be like that. You know, we try to flip the script and point the finger elsewhere and make it seem like they did something wrong, whatever. And, you know, that's the interesting part of being, in, you know, in a situation where somebody is a cheater in a relationship, is the narcissism of it all. Like, people being narcissists, people being arrogant, people having the nerve and the audacity to try to make it seem like you did something wrong for deciding to leave and exit a relationship that no longer benefits you and possibly put your health at risk. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, if Saweetie felt like, you know, Quavo wasn't the one for her because, you know, he cheated, then so be it. That's what you're supposed to do. You're not supposed to allow people to cheat on you and possibly put your health at risk. You know what I'm saying? And if Quavo stopped dealing with her because she was on that podcast being a thought, I don't know what was going on before that. Allegedly, there were people calling her a thought for flirting with her ex or whatever. So be it. You know what I'm saying? Maybe they shouldn't be together, and that's just what it is. But it's also another thing that a rumor that I wanted to debunk. People were alleging that Quavo basically repossessed a car that he bought her for Christmas, and everybody was cheering it on. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, Quavo, yeah, you should take her car because she a gold digger and this and this. And it's like, I mean, Saweetie family, like, is actually from within the music industry, so I don't know, she's already well off. She ain't had to, you know what I mean? So, I don't like the terms of them calling her a gold digger just because her boyfriend decided to buy her a car or whatever. But anyway, long story short, it was reported through sources to TMZ that was allegedly from Quavo, that said that he did not repossess Saweetie's car. So that is a false rumor, and he did not take the car back that he bought her. Even though people wanted to put that out there to turn up the volume, make it sound real good, but that wasn't actually the case, allegedly. So I guess she still has that car in the Birkin bags that he bought her. But you guys, my question is, do you feel like when you break up with somebody, you're supposed to take back big gifts that you bought them? And also, is it really a gift if you never actually put the car in the girl's name or put the house in the person that you're dating with's name? Is it really there? Or is it just like, you know, a lease to own, or, you know, a borrowing system? Like, okay, while you in this relationship with me, I'll let you borrow this car, but once it ends, that's, you know, that means it's time for me to take my car back because I never even put it in your name. Like, I mean, really think about it like that. Like, was it really a gift if it was never actually put in her name? Like, you know what I mean? But they're saying that he didn't actually take the car. But I'm just saying, like, it's just certain things I'm just in there thinking about how, like, relationships go and how people get down. And it's just like, okay, now. And then, let's see here. What else we got going on? But anyway, yeah, let's just talking about cheaters. And then, they also basically trying to say that, that dude, Jared Jackson, whatever his name is, the one that's like the relationship guru, dark-skinned dude. He's like more muscular or whatever. He's like allegedly cheating on his wife, and like a couple of his mistresses came on Tasha K's show, and baby, it's a hot mess. And it's crazy because he sits there all day and like drag black men and be like, oh, black men is this and this and this, and then tell women all the stuff that he needs to do to keep a good relationship. And meanwhile, he out here lying to all these women, telling them that he's single. Like, he never posts his wife on social media, and he doesn't post his wife on social media until like August of last year. And come to find out, according to Tasha K, the person that came on there said that allegedly had an affair with Jared, basically posted that after the fact that they had, you know, alleged sexual escapade in a different state, like in Atlanta, while his woman was out of town, which makes you wonder, like, did she force him to make that post after she found out he was cheating on her and having an affair? Like, I just wonder, you know what I mean? And that's the thing why I always say, like, you know, you can't trust these people on the web. It's their career, you know. It's an image. It's all about image, and everything that's out here on the web, just because it looks real doesn't mean it is real. So it's just like interesting that he will be out here trying to give relationship advice allegedly, and he's cheating on his wife. And it just, the whole thing is just a hot mess. I don't even like talking about people like him because, like, you know, I did watch a couple of his videos, and like I said, he's good. But I caught on to what his game was because he just seemed OD too perfect, and nobody in the world is that perfect. You know what I'm saying? And he made his entire brand off of it, so he made sure that he gets to himself, you know, a brown-skinned black woman as wife, and meanwhile all of his mistresses, alleged mistresses, look like video vixens, you know, that's like smaller than her, light skin, you know, just a typical that the guys go after in Hollywood. And it's interesting that he has so many black women fooled to believe that, you know, he was this particular man, and just building a fantasy about it, and building a fantasy about it and making it seem as if he was such a perfect person. But now, like, all of his cards has just been exposed, and I don't think his wife has come out and said anything on it on social media. You know, people been going on her Instagram page and stuff like that. She hasn't really been saying much on it, but she left her comment section open, so it's just been a ton of people commenting on her page. And I don't know if she got it under there for her to collect receipts for, like, I don't know if she filed for a divorce from him or what the deal is. But this is just like really a precaution, because a lot of times when it comes to like black dating and stuff like that, all the time they try to say black women, oh, you know, black women got to choose better when they get dusty, like, or in bad relationships with guys. They'll say, oh, because he has a bad career and stuff like that, that means he can't be a good man to you, and this, and this. And honestly, like, Jared Jackson is like the perfect guy. Like, you know what I mean? So, you know, he has the 6-figure income. He has this, and this, and he married to a woman who's a well-known, like, would say, Christian or whatever, and he still cheated on her. So that, what does that say about, like, men in general, or even particularly black men, and how they operate in their relationships? Like, it has nothing to do with education. It has nothing to do with any of it. It's just loyalty, and loyalty is something that it doesn't really run that far from each other. Like, it doesn't matter if you're making $50,000 or $500,000 a month. If you're not a loyal person, that don't mean, just because you got the money do not make you become a loyal person. You know what I'm saying? If anything, you become more disloyal because you feel like you have people at your disposal just to use up and just throw out whenever you feel like it. You know what I'm saying? So anyways, anybody's watching this video right now, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, notification bell. If you guys are still getting into this, make sure you hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, okay? But yeah, you guys, it's just crazy, you guys. And you guys tell me what you guys think about the whole Derek Jack situation, because I just feel like he's just a fraud, and I feel like maybe he married his wife just to, you know, make his brand look good, and now he's going after the women that he really wanted behind the scenes. There's been several several women who's come forward. A couple of chicks who said that she had to take a woman came out, said she had to take a Plan B pill because they were having unprotected sex and stuff. And it's like, oh my God, dude, like you're on social media trying to give out this certain image, and you're allegedly out here exposing your wife to potential STDs and side babies and all types of things. So Derek Jack got a lot of explaining to do, and he hasn't made a post in about 2 days, so I'm pretty sure he's going to come out. But also I had a conspiracy theory thought about it too, because I noticed that him and his wife is promoting a book, and I think it's called like How to Heal or something like that, something that's like, you know what I mean? It got me wondering, like, is this a publicity stunt? Is it possible that he's paid these women to come out and say these things about him so they can try to rehash his image and say, okay, I'm not the perfect man, but buy my book, man? I wouldn't buy his book. I wouldn't. Like, come on now. This is ridiculous, you know? And if it is a publicity stunt, you know, between him and his family, that's pathetic, man. I hope that's not the case, man, because it's embarrassing. And I feel like it's going to hurt his brand more than help it, which makes me feel like it's not a publicity stunt. But people just speculating, of course, in the comment section, the videos and stuff I was watching, and his posts and stuff, the people commenting on his wife's post, you know, just speculating, y'all. But anyway, if you're a fan, you're a black woman or just a woman in general, and even some black guys or whatever that fans or hate Derek Jackson, are you guys happy that he's been exposed? Are you guys happy that Tasha K decided to go ahead and read his receipts and allegedly put out the allegation? Like I said, everything I'm saying about Derek Jackson is alleged. Everything I say on my show is alleged. Remember that. Don't nobody come in here with no lawyers. I'm just over here doing my job, just talking the shit that I usually do. But anyway, y'all tell me what y'all think about that whole situation in regard to Derek Jackson and his alleged mistress and all that other stuff, and his wife and all that other stuff that's been going on, man. Because it's definitely being crazy up in there. And then lastly, let me talk also another thing about these stimulus checks, man. And it's just like, dudes are just, you know, this black guy, man, out in Indianapolis, okay, literally killed his baby mama and like 3 other people, all because his dusty self, okay, probably wasn't paying child support. His stimulus check got took it for child support, and he tried to basically bully his baby mama into giving him $400 of the whatever amount, $3,000, $5,000 she was getting because she had his baby and he was to take care of, and he decided he wants to go on a shooting spree and kill everybody in sight, and now he's in jail. Like, I just can't with his dusty behavior. Like, I just feel like there should be a time for black men to sit down and really talk about the serious things that's been going on within the community that involves them in regards to the violence, in regards to the violence against each other, the violence against their wives, the abandoning their children. What else? I mean, the list goes on and on and on and on and on. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can sit here and protest for black men all day about Black Lives Matter. Cops, please don't kill them, this, and this. But it's like, we need them to also advocate for us as black women. And also, you know, these so-called good black men, they need to start calling out these bad black men about them being dusty and not wanting to be providers to take care of themselves, and feeling that they should murder the mother of their children because of the fact that they don't want to provide for the child that they created. You want to go out here, you want to have fun, you want to create these kids, but you don't want to take care of them. And just because the government decides to pay the bill that you don't even want to pay, now you kill this lady when you didn't even earn that money. Like, sir, like, it's just a dustiness for me. It's just the bumminess for me. It's like, it's really just ridiculous. And this is just in particularly for my black people that's out there in the black community, especially in the heterosexual community, who, you know, go ahead and have kids with these dudes out here and these men out here, and they say, oh, you need to choose better, you need this, and this. And it's really deeper than choosing better. It's deeper than that, because Derek Jack was basically like the perfect guy, right? And his wife was a Christian woman, and he still cheated on her allegedly, and still had mistresses coming out the woodwork saying that she was sleeping with him, raw dogging, all this types of stuff. So really what it is, I feel like black men, no matter what level of financial bracket they need to sit down and have a conversation and start learning about loyalty, learning about self-control, sexual discipline, and stop having a bunch of kids that they can't take care of, and also work on their toxic masculinity, because that's what it would be if you're out here killing a girl for having your baby and you not getting the money that you never actually gave to your child in the first place. That's some sick, twisted stuff. And honestly, I feel like everybody that's out there that's not talking about it, you know what I'm saying? If you are somebody who see that stuff going on, you need to say something. If you're a man and you see that your cousin or whatever is treating their baby mama a certain way, and I'm tired of the word baby mama. When are you guys gonna start marrying these women? What you know? And it's crazy, because like, just because you marry somebody, clearly don't mean that they're going to be faithful. Key, the person that we're talking about right now, he's a married man and allegedly has these affairs going on. But just in general, I feel like the black community, black men, and black women need to literally sit down and get some serious relationship therapy so they can understand how a healthy family structure goes and builds, because really it's just a damn mess out here. You know, I can go into a rant on this all day, but seriously, I'm just tired of seeing it, and I just had to say something about it on my platform. This isn't a platform where I sit here and just talk about all these different like societal and community issues with black people, but when it starts to get to like in the celebrity realm and stuff like that, and it goes around the topics that I have to talk about, I have to say something, man. And I just feel like it's disgusting. You know what I'm saying? I just really want black men to do better, treat their women better, treat their kids better, and stop being so dusty in certain logics. And if you are a person who is black, you need to make sure, a black male, and you're a good black male, you need to make sure that you do what you need to do and inform your other brothers of their reckless and no good behavior, and I don't know, align yourself with each other instead of killing each other. Because how can you build a community when the black men around the community is terrorizing the community? They're not doing the things that they need to do. They're not providing financial stability for their families. Guys, this is also some breaking news that just came in. They did just release the cause of death in regards to Bobby Brown Jr. And this was released from TMZ, basically saying that he allegedly has passed away from a drug overdose. Of course, he died last year at the age of 28, and it's been released exactly the cause of death. They're saying that the cause was booze, coke, and fentanyl. And I'm going to read this directly from TMZ, and it's basically giving the cause of death of Bobby Brown Jr., the son of Bobby Brown, okay? It says Bobby Brown Jr. died from ingestion of a deadly cocktail of drugs. This is according to his autopsy report. The L.A. County Medical Examiner Office just released its findings according to the documents obtained by TMZ. The autopsy toxicology found a deadly combination of alcohol, cocaine, and fentanyl. The report also says a witness told police Bobby Jr. had downed tequila and snorted half a Percocet in the cocaine. The manner of the death is listed as accidental. Of course, they have broke the story recently that he was found dead at the age of 28 in his home in November. Cops reported there was no foul play involved, and law enforcement sources told us no drugs were found at the scene either. Bobby's family said he was not feeling well the days leading up to his death and was experiencing flu-like symptoms. However, the family source told us that he did not have COVID-19. So this is just sad because he just basically died of a similar circumstance as his stepmother, Whitney Houston, as his sister, Bobby Christina, and as the boy, and also same similar death as Bobby Christina's boyfriend as well. And now he has died of allegedly a drug overdose at the age of 28. And honestly, all I can do is pray for the Houston and Brown family, because it's just so unfortunate that this entire family has been wiped out because of drugs, and just, you know, addiction, man. It's sad. It just shows you that there's no happy ending to being on drugs or using drugs and stuff like that, and how it can affect not only the adults but the family. Because of course people remember Bobby and Whitney back in the day, and all the allegations they were on drugs and stuff like that, and them admitting to being addicted to drugs and stuff like that. And unfortunately it trickled down to their kids, and it's just so sad, you know. And I feel bad for both sides of the family. I'm not on here to judge, but I'm just discussing what's been put out in the news and stuff like that. And it's just unfortunate that this is how Bobby Brown Jr. ended up entering a similar fate to several of his other family members because of drug use. And really, I just feel like it's important for people out there in the world to understand that, you know, it's not a game out here. Like, you know, and doing drugs doesn't lead to much. It leads to death. It leads to not so much of a happy ending, you know. Jails, going to jail, or death, you know. And that's pretty much what it is. I really don't have much to really say about it, you know. It's just unfortunate that drugs completely destroyed a very talented family, and, you know, they could be still here performing and enjoying their fame and in their fortune and relishing in their talents. And unfortunately, a substance or several substances and addiction has completely taken out, wiped out a family, popular, successful black family, or seems, it's just sad. And I really, really hope that, this is, a wake-up call for other people that's out there, or other black Hollywood families that's out there, or just Hollywood families in general who's dealing with addiction, and seeing the Brown and Houston story, and seeing that, how serious drug addiction can be, and how it could trickle down to your family and lead to these unfortunate events, man. But sending prayers out to the Brown family. I am a fan of Whitney Houston. I'm a fan of Bobby Brown. You know what I'm saying? I love their music, and it's just sad what has happened to their family. But yeah, like I said, I'm not here to judge. I'm just gonna send out a prayer for them, and I'm gonna wish them the best. And I hope that anybody else that's dealing with drug addiction, try to get help, and know that you're not alone. There's a lot of rehabilitation centers out there, but it's really up to you to determine whether you're ready to do that and take the next chapter and step in your life. And it's okay to be sober. It's okay to not want to do drugs. It's okay to not be a part of the in crowd. It's sometimes people be acting like you're going to get peer pressure when you're young, but peer pressure is very, very real when you're an adult too, and that stuff can lead to you continually doing drugs and doing stuff just to be in a crowd of people, just to feel like you're fitting in with people, and all the stuff that he may have experienced in life may have led to that as well. You know what I'm saying? So may he rest in peace, and that's just so unfortunate, so unfortunate, you guys. But yeah, so just to move forward and go to the next, and like one of my final subjects,